following are 61 types of bodies of water. Backwater, a body of water that was created by a flood or a tide, or by being held or forced back by a dam. Bay, embayment, an indentation of a shoreline larger than a cove but smaller than a gulf. Channel, a deep and relatively narrow body of water, as in a river or a harbor or a strait linking two larger bodies, that allows the best passage for vessels. Drink, any large, deep body of water. Estuary, the wide part of a river where it nears the sea, fresh and salt water mix. Flowage, a body of water that has been created by deliberately flooding an area. Crossing, ford, a shallow area in a stream that can be forded. Gulf, an arm of a sea or ocean partly enclosed by land, larger than a bay. High sea, international waters. The open seas of the world outside the territorial waters of any nation. Inlet, recess, an arm off of a larger body of water, often between rocky headlands. Lake, a body of usually fresh water surrounded by land. Briny, main, any very large body of salt water. Midwater, the water that is well below the surface, but also well above the bottom. Ocean, a large body of water constituting a principal part of the hydrosphere. Offing, the part of the sea that can be seen from the shore and is beyond the anchoring area. Polynya, a stretch of open water surrounded by ice, especially in Arctic seas. Pool, puddle, a small body of standing water, rainwater, or other liquid. Sea, a division of an ocean or a large body of salt water partially enclosed by land. Seven seas, an informal expression for all the oceans of the world. Shallow, shoal, a stretch of shallow water. Sound, a large ocean inlet or deep bay. Stream, watercourse, a natural body of running water flowing on or under the earth. Territorial waters, the waters surrounding a nation and its territories over which that nation exercises sovereign jurisdiction. Falls, waterfall, a steep descent of the water of a river. Waterway, a navigable body of water. Artificial lake, man-made lake, reservoir. Lake used to store water for community use. Bayou, a swampy arm or slow-moving outlet of a lake, a term used mainly in Mississippi and Louisiana. Bight, that's B-I-G-H-T, a broad bay formed by an indentation in the shoreline. Billabong, a stagnant pool of water in the bed of a stream that flows intermittently. Branch, a stream or river connected to a larger one. Brook, creek, a natural stream of water smaller than a river and often tributary of a river. Canal, astronomy, an indistinct surface feature of Mars once thought to be a system of channels. They are now believed to be an optical illusion. Cascade, a small waterfall or series of small waterfalls. Cataract, a large waterfall, violent rush of water or over a precipice. Cove, a small inlet. Deep, literary term for an ocean. Ditch, any small natural waterway. Firth, that's F-I-R-T-H, a long, narrow estuary, especially in Scotland. Fjord, a long, narrow inlet of the sea between steep cliffs, common in Norway. Guantanamo Bay, an inlet of the Caribbean Sea. A United States naval station was established on the bay in 1903. Gut, a narrow channel or strait. Headstream, a stream that forms the source of a river. Lagoon, lagune, a body of water cut off from a larger body by a reef or sand or coral. Reef of sand or coral. Loch, Scottish word for a lake. Loch, a long, narrow inlet of the sea in Scotland, especially when it is nearly landlocked. Lough, that's L-O-U-G-H, Irish word for a lake. Mare Clausum, closed sea, a navigable body of water under the jurisdiction of a single nation. Mare Liberum, free sea, a navigable body of water to which all nations have equal access. Mud puddle, a puddle of mud. Oxbow Lake, a crescent-shaped lake often temporary that is formed when a meander of a river is cut off from the main channel. Pond, pool, a small lake. Rapid, a part of the river where the current is very fast. Rill, a small channel, as one formed by soil erosion. River, a large natural stream of water, larger than a creek. Rill, rivulet, runnel, streamlet, a small stream. South Sea, any sea to the south of the equator, but especially the South Pacific. Sound, strait, a narrow channel of the sea joining two larger bodies of water. Tarn, a mountain lake, especially one formed by glaciers. Tidal river, tidal stream, tidal water river, tidal water stream, a stream in which the effects of the tide extend far upstream. Tideway, a channel in which a tidal current runs. Watercourse, natural or artificial channel through which waters flow. Thing, a separate and self-contained entity.
61 different types of bodies of water on the earth, and this is not one of them on your screen right here, right? It's just an imaginary thing, okay? If you imagine, just picture the water that you've seen in the world, and where is its location? Is it like something that stays in a spot without a container, or would it be able to flow? It can flow. And we all actually, since we live in this world, we all actually know water very well. We do. So we never see water on the top doing that. Like, we're never. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm just trying to show you the thing that I'm noticing about reality that is being ignored. And I won't have it. I'm just kidding. No, so that was 61 different types of bodies of water. It was just something on the internet. And each one of those bodies of water is contained with either a shore or some sort of container. Now, this is a adult conversation, not like that way, but I'm saying we're not children in our thinking. So let's keep it, keep it real. A drop of water, like a raindrop, that's not a body of water, okay? So we're not talking about that. And if we're talking about the surface of water, we are talking about the surface of the water. We have to be clear about these things. Like, if you look at this fake picture that I have on the screen, that's kind of annoying, isn't it? Let me get that off of there. There was something else I was going to show you. Sorry, guys. I didn't notice that was that annoying. Okay, so there's a few things I want to show you. Here's the ocean in Florida. Now, a lot of people think, like, let's just be logical here, because we must. We know the shape of a sphere is spherical, which means if you're standing on it, I guess any spot on it, it would be going down, the ground would be going down, or the ocean especially, would uniformly curve with that sphere to the left and to the right and in front of you, equally. So if you see a boat disappearing in front of you, and that starts about 3 miles distance from a normal person's view, if you're standing like on the water or on the shore, it's about 3 miles and the boats start disappearing from the bottom up. We've all seen pictures of it, or we all understand the concept. But then that line that goes left to right there, that's a straight line. And if we were to turn our head to the left and to the right, we see hundreds of miles at that horizon. We see so far that everything goes down to that horizon that's in the sky. If it's going away from us, we know that. It goes down towards that horizon as it goes away from us. And it shrinks and gets teeny. Like, some of that footage we were watching in that video at the beginning, which maybe I'll play in the background right now with the sound off, if I can find it. I know I can find it. I know it's there. Sometimes I have a lot of things in. Oh, I do want to play a video for you guys later, or in a little while. Okay, I'm finding it here, I think. I'm not finding it. I don't remember what I called it, I confess. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to just click on a video and have it change the subject. That's not the aim here. Water. Oh, it's right there. Towards the end where W is. Smart. Okay. I think that's the video. Yeah. Okay, so we know that water can be in waves. It can be in rivers, and it's what is it doing? Why does it move when it moves? There's a reason. Because it goes downhill, like down. Oh, this is Mille Lacs Lake in Minnesota when it was thawing out, or yeah, kind of melting. I guess that would be in the spring of 2020. But water is, if you look at this lake, that shore across the lake there, that's like 15 to 18 miles away on the right, all the way on the right. It's like almost 20 miles away, the shore is. And it's just right there. Now that we have these optics to look through. So these pictures here are showing just water flowing. And there it is sitting still. We all understand the difference. You can see that flat surface of it right there. Now what would happen if the earth was a sphere? The water would do the same thing. That's because it goes basically it's just a ripoff of God's creation. That's what the globe is. And it's not even close. Look at right on the screen right here. Let me go back a little if I can. Okay, it says water in this container exerts greater downward force because there's more of it. And then they'll say that's because of gravity. Well, that's your theory that gravity is something. But to me, when I read the Bible, it's just so much simpler than that, because the earth at the very beginning, it was without form, and we've all read the story, but maybe look at the details. There's an up and a down. Most definitely. And it's not some sphere around confusing thing. Your body knows up and down. And your up and down is not different than my up and down because you live somewhere else. Sorry. God's in the highest heaven, and that is up to everybody at the same time, in the same direction. And I know I'm going like deeper into that, but there's in the nature of the earth we live in, that every one of us lives in, there is an up, one up, and one down. And there's also horizontal line everywhere you go. Did you ever notice that horizontal line everywhere you go? You can't always see it because it's hidden. Mine's hidden right now by walls and a screen because I'm in a house and at a computer. But if I was outside and there was no trees and I was in the middle of a big field, there would be a line right in the middle, a horizontal line. And water doesn't like to be above or below that line unless all the other water is too. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how water does what water does. But I was actually going to, I think I have, we'll see how good my program works here. Did you guys like the beginning? Here, let me do it again. Make sure that, oh, it's not going to work. Okay, well, I tried. But I was going to show you just like some moving water. Let's see if this works. It's not going to work. Okay. I guess not. I'm sorry. Cancel it. It won't show me any of the... it acts like it's working, but it doesn't. Okay. Sorry, guys. So let's do this. Let me just hit play again. Okay. So, I want to read you a couple things about... And water is definitely something else. First of all, there's waters above the earth in the sky, okay? They're dark waters. This is what's in the Bible. They're dark waters and thick clouds of the skies, okay? It's actually where it's such a significant place for so many reasons. But it's a place of darkness, and it's above the earth. And God's above that darkness. The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. I think that's what it says. But there was darkness upon the face of the deep. Well, that's the abyss. Just because we have, I don't really care about what we knew before, but what can we know right now? Maybe people haven't thought about when Jesus would cast those unclean spirits out into outer darkness, and he said there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Where's darkness? There, I was thinking about this, and I think I was doing it in a video. Darkness is just the absence of light. It's a real, literal thing. And if you want to test it out, just turn out the lights. That's what darkness is right there. Now, that on the earth, okay, God gave us lights, like the sun and the moon and the stars, right? We have those... They're in waters, which brings me to another interesting subject. This might get deep, guys. Where my mind's going. Okay, dark waters are the waters. They're celestial. NASA thinks they're a vacuum. Okay, that place where the sun, moon, and stars are, where NASA sends rockets and the shuttle. And we can actually just look up at the sky, at the stars, and we can see that whatever's going on up there, let's say NASA was lying to the world, well then, how are they doing what they're doing up there? Where do they... and I'm not saying you have to go to YouTube and watch a NASA video to know this. This is in your backyard, up in the sky, in the sky. And the way I look at it, it's God's secret place. It's His. I think a lot of things are there. It's both good and bad. I think maybe that there's a place there that Jesus said... what did He say? See, I think Jesus saw the things, because He's not bound by time, and I think He saw the times that we're in now, and even when He was on the earth, He's told us some of the things He saw right now, I think. Because He just said in Luke, I don't remember exactly where it is, Luke chapter 10 or something, He said He beheld Satan fall like lightning from heaven. And I'm thinking, well, I think I actually have a video of it here, pretty much. Yeah. This idea, anyway. That's not the right one. It's just like that, though. It's when they re-enter the atmosphere. Whatever's happening there. It's like a 5,000 degree plasma ball. It heats up. It's like fire. And I mean, okay, before I get into any of the Book of Enoch, because I usually start talking about that, and then there's so many things in there that are important things. But let me put something better on here. Here we go. Let's just look at this really quick. There's some clouds. That's heaven right there. See it? Now it's blue sky, because that's what color it is when the sun is lighting it up, or when the daylight is following the sun, however you want to look at it, because the sun isn't the only kind of light, because the sun was created on the fourth day, but for the 3 days before that, it was right away that God said, let there be light, and there was light. And he didn't have the sun created yet. So that's significant. Just the fact that it's all throughout the scriptures, it mentions this difference between, or it points out two different kinds of light. That's interesting. Just because, look at on your screen right there. There's like blue sky and there's dark blue sky by the clouds. I don't know, I don't know what does that. I got another one. It's a time lapse. I don't think it was even the same day. It was a different day. But this was right above my house. And on this one, I set up my camera to do one of those time lapses. Where's the sun? Who took geometry? You know what I'm saying? If we're going to give it directions, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to go back, actually. Do you see... This doesn't work with... there'll be some excuses of these things, but if you think about it yourself, the sun's right behind that cloud, okay? However far away it is, I don't know. But I do know one thing. That sun is shining there for my camera. And if you were there, it would be shining for your camera. What I'm saying is everybody sees that. It's right up in the sky, but everybody sees it. An example is my brother lives in Florida. It's like 1,800 miles away or something. And very close to the same part of the sky, he sees the clouds in his area, but he sees the sun right above them. Like 50 miles up or whatever, like right up there. Now, I was thinking about this, and maybe it's nothing, but maybe it's something. If we look at things that are flying in the sky, it's like, say, a little airplane goes over your house. If you measured the size of it if you put it on camera and you were filming it, if you measured, I haven't done this, but I'm saying it would be interesting to see. So we know that if you measured the angular size of it as it flies over, it's going to change. Because it's going to be far away from you, like on the horizon, it's going to be coming towards you, it's going to be getting bigger. But I've noticed that, like, I haven't, like, done this on purpose, but I've noticed that, like, just think of Starlink. Maybe I have a video of that. I just wanted to bring this up. Starlink, when it goes over, does it change the angular size? I don't think it does. It doesn't do what a jet would do. And the sun doesn't do what a jet would do. It doesn't shrink in size. It just goes and, like, do you know what I'm saying? All day long, the sun's just the sun, same size. And it's like that for everybody on Earth. I guess I'm not going to have very good luck doing this because I can't do it. Okay, yeah, it's not gonna work. Let me just play. I love this video. I don't know why. It's pretty cool what the daylight does there. Just from some clouds. Hello everyone that's in the chat. I see all you guys. Lori and Daniel and Davey and Parkway. Larry. Good to see you guys. And I know I saw someone else, I think. Maybe not. Ryan Eartherton. Welcome. Good to see all you guys. Yes, Parkway at the top. Level and plumb. Okay, water. We all know water. If you had... here's the way I like to look at it. Because water can be higher than other water. It's like waves. There's tides. We know the water's moving around all the time. But when it's at rest, like just think of a still pond, or when the water's at rest, it's like glass. It's like a flat surface. And so I want to point out the difference between the reality of it. We all know what it looks like and what we all know about it, what water's like. That's why I don't even have any pictures of water. I'm showing you a picture of the sky, but that's water. But it's flat, the surface of water. That's the reality that we all know. And then we go to school and we see pictures from space, from the ISS, or from the moon missions. And we suddenly start seeing a spherical world at the age of 1.5. And then we're in that universe that doesn't exist in the reality that we experience. It only exists in the intellectual part of our brains. That's like, if we analyze it, that's what it is. The ground's always beneath you. And I was thinking about this. Even the space station never sees the bottom of the world, some spherical Earth. They never see that. They're always in the same position all of us are if we were flying in a jet. The Earth's beneath them. They think they can see so far that they can see the edge of the Earth or the curvature of the Earth, but that's just, you know what? That brings me to what I wanted to, where I want to end up here in Job 37. That's what I want to read right now. And then I have another thing we're going to listen to, John chapter 3, after that. Because there's some things about water in there too. But I'm going to go to Bible Hub. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, if I can find it. Oh, that's so hard with this program. Sometimes it doesn't work. I want to go get a video of some cool clouds and stuff. Oh man, it's not going to let me. That's awful. Might be able to find something in this list. Let me, oh, a lightning storm? How's that? Let's do that. Lightning storm DJI footage. I forgot about that one. This was just some night there was a lightning storm right by my house, so I put the drone up in the air. Okay, so I'm gonna read this. I'm getting to the right page, sorry. It says excellent connection on my stream. That's cool. It says average watch time is 6 minutes. I've been on for 30. Shame on you guys. No, I'm just kidding. Ooh, it just went up to 6:13. Good job. I'm just kidding. Okay, we're finally there. Now, this is, you guys gotta hear this. Okay, Elihu, that's the, I think, proclaims God's majesty. Okay, so I think this is someone that was with Job. At this also my heart trembleth, and is moved out of his place. Hear attentively the noise of his voice, and the sound that goeth out of his mouth. He directeth it under the whole heaven, and his lightning. Oh, that's I didn't even plan that, you guys. And we got lightning, cool. And his lightning unto the ends of the earth. After it a voice roareth, he thundereth with the voice of his excellency, and he will not stay them when his voice is heard. And it bounces off the dome. You guys have all heard that. How thunder echoes. What's it echoing off of? I don't know. Maybe dark waters. Anyway. All right, here we go. Sorry, I lost my place. Okay, God, this is verse 5. God thundereth marvelously with his voice. Great things doeth he, which we cannot comprehend. For he saith to the snow, Be thou on the earth, likewise to the small rain, and to the great rain of his strength. He sealeth up the hand of every man, that all men may know his work. Then the beasts go into dens and remain in their places. Okay, it's coming up here, guys. This is awesome. Out of the south cometh the whirlwind, and cold out of the north. By the breath of God, frost is given, and the breadth of the waters is straitened. I think I gotta put something else up on the screen for you guys. And then we'll come back to the lightning storm, the exciting lightning storm. Okay, I gotta find it. It's an ocean view. Do you remember this? Let me read that last verse again. This is cool. This is cool. It's Job 37, verse. Sorry. 10, I guess. By the breath of God, frost is given, and the breadth, that's breadth, which is the same as like the width. And the breadth of the waters is straitened. Also, by watering, he wearieth the thick cloud, he scattereth his bright cloud. And it is turned round about by his counsels, that they may do whatsoever he commandeth them upon the face of the world in the earth. Okay? There's darkness upon the face of the deep, so there's an abyss somewhere, right? A dark abyss of darkness. That's the night sky. And I'm sure it goes all the way to the edge of the earth and beyond. And then people are saying, where's the edge of the earth? Well, we'll get to that. God tells us. I just believe what God says. He just tells us. But I want to continue reading this because we're about halfway through it. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Okay. So, verse 13, he causeth it to come, whether for correction, or for his land, or for mercy. Hearken unto this, O Job. Stand still and consider the wondrous works of God. Dost thou know when God disposed them, and caused the light of his cloud to shine? Dost thou know the balancings of the clouds, the wondrous works of him which is perfect in knowledge? How thy garments are warm, when he quieteth the earth by the south wind. Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong as a molten looking glass? Think of what the thunder sounds like, guys. That's what the sky bounces off, or that sound bounces off of something that is strong, and as a molten looking glass. Like a molten looking glass would be like a piece of glass that was hot and was kind of formed into an eyepiece to look through. It would be hard, like glass. That's something. I'm saying this is the scriptures. Okay. Verse 19. Teach us what we shall say unto him, for we cannot order our speech by reason of darkness. Shall it be told him that I speak of, if a man speak, surely he shall be swallowed up. And now men see not the bright light which is in the clouds, but the wind passeth and cleanseth them. Fair weather cometh out of the north. With God is terrible majesty. Touching the Almighty, we cannot find him out. He is excellent in power and in judgment and in plenty of justice. He will not afflict. Men do therefore fear him. He respecteth not any that are wise of heart. So, but we're getting to the edge of the earth here, okay? Then this is God gonna tell us a little story in Job 38, or he's talking to Job, but he sounds serious, and he's kind of gonna set anybody that's listening. He'll set us straight on creation right here. Get off that globe. All right, Job 38. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. Where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding. Who hath laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest? Or who hath stretched the line upon it? I'm a carpenter, guys, and when you stretch a line, it's a straight line. It's not a curved line, okay? You stretch a line, you stretch it so it's straight. And you can put some chalk on it, and then you can snap it, and you get a line that's straight and not curved. Simple stuff right here. Okay. Was I in verse 5? Yeah, that was verse 5. Verse 6, whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? Or who laid the cornerstone thereof? When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy. Or who shut up the sea with doors, when it brake forth, as if it had issued out of the womb? When I made the cloud the garment thereof, and thick darkness a swaddling band for it. Do you guys see that? There's the cloud and there's thick darkness. That's in Psalm 18. It says his pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. Okay, let's see. Verse 10. And break up for it my decreed place, and set bars and doors. Okay, this is the verse right here, verse 11. This tells us about the edge of the earth right here. And said, hitherto shalt thou come, but no further, and here shall thy proud waves be stayed. That's just a simple concept, guys. Like if you're the curious type, and you're on your screen now, the horizon. If we were to sail towards the horizon, we'd never get there. And if we were to get anywhere close, there would be a wall that the water stops at first. Because there's a place. Where does it say? I don't want to say it wrong. Hitherto shalt thou come, but no further. And here shall thy proud waves be stayed. Verse 12, Hast thou commanded the morning since thy days, and caused the dayspring to know his place, that it might take hold of the ends of the earth, that the wicked might be shaken out of it? Okay, right here, he's telling us about the earth, okay? It is turned as clay to the seal, and they stand as a garment. And from wickedness their light is withholden, and the high arm shall be broken. So I want to get down to verse 18, so I'm just going to keep reading. Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea, or hast thou walked in the search of the depth? Have the gates of death been opened unto thee, or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? Hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? That also is width of the earth. Hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? Declare if thou knowest it all. Yeah, Lori Tillman says, yep, maybe an ice wall. And I think you're right, because I was thinking about something else. Okay, I think it's maybe in this chapter even. I don't know. I'll keep reading in a second. But there's the face of the deep is frozen. That's in this book somewhere, in Job somewhere. So I was thinking about that. The face of the deep is frozen, and there's darkness upon it. So just think of nighttime. You have like, well, there's the firmament of heaven. That it's a place of darkness, obviously, because God made lights, and that's what the sun, moon, and stars are. Yeah. But it only makes sense if the face of the deep was frozen, then God made the sun. Wouldn't that like melt just where the sun is? You know what I mean? And it's going, if you read, what is it, Psalm 18 or 19, I think. It talks about the circuit of the sun, and it's like it goes on a circuit every day. So if you think about it, if you had like a light and it would just melt up the oceans, and it would probably be cold in the middle, even like the North Pole, because the sun isn't going all the way to the middle, So basically there would be probably exactly what we live in described here in the Bible. It's very clear. Now, when we get into the globe and the curvature and stuff, that there is no curvature. There was an image. I can't do, my software is not allowing me. But if you notice, if you stand in a hallway, or you look at the railroad tracks or whatever, there's so many different things. The perspective of things, you can take and draw lines on straight buildings, and they all meet at the point of where you're looking. That has to be applied when we're seeing sunsets, when we're seeing boats go over a curvature, when we're seeing what appears to be curvature. Like if you see a boat sailing away from you and it goes down, keep in mind that it's not doing that if it's going left or right, but somehow we're on a sphere. I wish I could. Actually, I can. Let me play with this screen for a minute. Or this could be fun. So this will be exaggerated, but it might not work. I might have just wrecked my program. Let me turn that off and see if I can get that back. Oh yeah, we're done. I think it quit. Hopefully you guys are just seeing a still screen. It's locked up. The program is. So I can just keep talking and talk about that straight line on your screen. No, I'm just kidding. I'm okay. Yeah, it's probably going to go away and we'll have to start up again or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just going to read here in Job. And if you get a different screen, I'll work on it. But yeah, the program just quit. It just went. So I guess that's what we get. All right. I can't even play what I wanted to play. John chapter 3. I can, but I'll figure out how to do it here. Thank you, Frank. I agree. God created the horizon. Hey, Paul Levi, good to see you. And Frank, and anybody else that I didn't say hi to yet. Awesome. So, I'm starting in Job 38, verse 19. This is a good verse, guys. Where's the way where light dwelleth? And as for darkness, where's the place thereof? That's what I'm asking you today, you guys. Because I'm seeing it up in the night sky. And it's not what NASA thinks it is. It's not space. It's a prison, actually. It's a prison for evil spirits, which is very scary. These are the very same evil spirits that in the book of Revelation make people worship a beast. They get the whole world all messed up in it. What if we were already all messed up in it for 20 years or so? That's scary stuff, you guys. Like, this is, okay, it's been like 2,000 years since John wrote that book. And now, just the last 8 years, these things are, that those guys wrote. Yeah, Parkway, Job 26:7, that's great. I'm actually going to read that. Because I think, is that the one about light and darkness? A circle, and he makes the end between the divide between light and darkness. Is that one? I think it is. Hey, Vape Morgan. Good to see you. All right. Verse 20. That thou shouldest take it to the bound thereof, and that thou shouldest know the paths to the house thereof. Knowest thou not, or thou it? Oh, wow. Yeah, knowest thou it? Because thou was then born, or because the number of thy days is great? Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow, or hast thou seen the treasures of the hail, which I have reserved against the time of trouble, and against the day of battle and war? By what way is the light parted, which scattereth the east wind upon the earth? Who hath divided a watercourse for the overflowing of waters, or a way for the lightning of thunder? Okay. I could keep going. That's a great thing to read, you guys. But let me see if I can if I can even find, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go to YouTube and watch. Or is that safe? I'm going to read to you John chapter 3. How's that? That's probably the safest way. I don't like my voice as much as some of the other voices that read it, but yeah, this is one of my favorite chapters. One of my favorites. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Jesus by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from God, for no man can do these miracles that thou doest, except God be with him. Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Nicodemus saith unto him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Jesus answered, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I said unto thee, Ye must be born again. The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but canst not tell whence it cometh, and whither it goeth. So is every one that is born of the Spirit. Nicodemus answered and said unto him, How can these things be? Jesus answered and said unto him, Art thou a master of Israel, and knowest not these things? Verily, verily, I say unto thee, we speak that we do know, and testify that we have seen, and ye receive not our witness. If I have told you earthly things, and ye believe not, how shall you believe if I tell you of heavenly things? And no man hath ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men loved darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in God. After these things came Jesus and his disciples into the land of Judea, and there he tarried with them and baptized. And John also was baptizing in Aenon, near to Salim, because there was much water there, and they came and were baptized. For John was not yet cast into prison. Then there arose a question between some of John's disciples and the Jews about purifying. And they came unto John and said unto him, Rabbi, he that was with thee beyond Jordan, to whom thou bearest witness, behold, the same baptizeth, and all men come to him. John answered and said, A man can receive nothing except it be given him from heaven. Ye yourselves bear me witness that I said, I am not the Christ, but that I am sent before him. He that hath the bride is the bridegroom, but the friend of the bridegroom which standeth and heareth him rejoiceth greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. This is my joy, therefore, is fulfilled. He must increase, but I must decrease. He that cometh from above is above all. He that is of the earth is earthly, and speaketh of the earth. He that cometh from heaven is above all. And what he hath seen and heard, that he testifieth, and no man receiveth his testimony. He that hath received his testimony hath set to his seal that God is true. For he whom God hath sent speaketh the words of God. For God giveth not the Spirit by measure unto him. The Father loveth the Son, and hath given all things into his hand. He that believeth on the Son hath everlasting life, and he that believeth not the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of God abideth on him. That's a long chapter. All right, so, yeah, you guys, water. That's all I can say. We know what water does. And like if you go to like physics websites, just read up what they tell you about water. They're not going to be talking about curvature of water there. And if they do, it's just a load of intellectual falsehood. Something you never experience. Something that is not observable. No one's ever observed anybody upside down in Australia from any viewpoint, from any angle, ever. There's an up and a down, and water is horizontal. It's part of the surface of the earth that God made. So that's about all I have to say. I like that Lori Tillman. She says, "May Jesus shine brightly through me this day." So then now I'm going to read. Thank you, Lori. Whoops. I'm going to read some things out of Matthew 5. Okay. We're going to start right in Matthew 5. We'll start in verse 11 because we should. Because I think it's important. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his savour, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out, and to be trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. I love that verse, actually. A city that is set on a hill. Let me read something here. Isaiah 2. That just reminded me of something. I just wanted to check it really quick. Yeah, check this out. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. All right. Let's see. Okay. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. I could keep going, but I'm not going to. So yeah, guys, that was about all I wanted to talk about, I think. The earth that you observe and that every other person on the earth observes is an up and a down. Do me a favor. let's do a quick exercise together, okay? If you're sitting up, did you hear what I just said? Up. If you're sitting up, tip your head to the side. I'm doing it. Tip your head to the side. Either way, doesn't matter, left or right. Just tip your head to the side and just answer this question. Where's up? Is it directly above your head, like at an angle pointed like towards the corner of the room? Or is it still in the same position? Just because your head's turned doesn't mean it changed what up is, right? Right. You know where up is. Your TV screen and your monitor, whatever you're watching, it's most likely pretty close to level. So it's goofy when your head's tipped. Now tip it back straight again. Oh, sorry about that. I wasn't trying to get your neck sore like mine. Oh, okay. So straight, or have your head straight up. Now that feels natural, and you can tell your head's not tipped. There's something in our heads that is like probably way better than Stabila. That's a brand of level, or the Stanley Fat Max, or whatever it is, whatever brand of level is the best. But really, sorry that my software is all just locked up, but that happens when you buy some cheap software so long ago. It's worked great for me. I've been able to do a lot with it. Yeah, Parkway, when Christ returns, all shall see him. Every eye shall see him. And that's so real to me. That's going to be happening. It's just very real, and you know, almost as if when I read about some of these things, which I read about them a lot, they're all over in the Bible, of this day of the Lord. When that happens, when all that it's a change that for some people it's going to be awesome, and for other people it's going to be like devastating. If that word even covers it, that no word is going to cover it. Stabila, huh? Nice, Parkway. I have a 6-foot Stabila, and a 4-foot, and a 2-foot, and a 1-foot, I think. I don't know if it's 1 foot. Seems like maybe more than a foot. Awesome, Lori. Same with me, Vape Morgan. Can't wait. Yeah, so what I say is this. You don't live on the space station, guys. And if you've watched my last couple videos, the space station is very suspect when it comes to the book of Revelation. The space station is, I believe, it's that thing that they said, who is able to make war with him? Who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him? They have a thing in the sky that is deceiving the world and them. And now someone came down, was sent down, I should say, from heaven to preach to the world the truth, to guide them into the truth. Jesus told us about this. This is happening right now, so I think it's awesome. He said, we could go to, I was in John 3, so I'm just going to change that to John 15, because I'm telling you, we're his witnesses, and that makes us kind of like responsible to do some certain things if we see the truth. And people are like, you call it the truth, but it's not the truth. Well, you know what? In the world that I live in, it's the truth, and I can prove it. Water's flat. It doesn't take a curved shape, not left to right and not in front of you. Whatever we're seeing, the boat disappearing from the bottom, that's not because of any curved water. And we've gone for 5 years in great detail studying with modern optics the nature of the surface of water, and it does not curve. It appears to curve sometimes, but the fact is, and you know it in your heart, that water doesn't take a spherical shape when it's at rest. The surface of it doesn't. So what world do you live in? You live in the one that you actually witness, that you know, like you know it in your heart. You know that if there was a swimming pool, that it was at rest, right? And suddenly I dumped a whole dump truck of water into that swimming pool on one end. I guarantee you that you know exactly what would happen within about, depending on how big the pool, I'm just saying, within a few minutes. Would that pool be taller on one side? No. Because you know water and you know what it does. It would even out because that's just how water acts. In your coffee cup. And like I said, we're not being childish here and talking about it curves at the edge of the coffee cup if you fill it up really full. That would be like surface tension, and we're not talking about that. We're talking about the surface of the natural liquid. Okay? Not talking about what it does by the edges. I'm not talking about what it does when there's tides and part of it's taller than the other part. I'm talking about what we all know. And I think it's obvious to everyone. Just like stationary Earth is obvious to everyone. Everyone. Now, let me tell you why I think this is important. Because of what Jesus said. He kind of said something that when I read it, I hear him speaking it today and talking about this truth. Because something's been done here, a miracle's been done here that nobody could do. No person could do this. It has to be exactly what Jesus said here. Check this out. Okay, I'm going to start in verse 22 of John chapter 15. And this is Jesus talking. And I think he's saying this right now. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin. But now they have no cloak for their sin. He that hateth me hateth my Father also. If I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had sin. But now have they both seen and hated both me and my Father. But this cometh to pass, that the word might be fulfilled that is written in their law, they hated me without a cause. But when the Comforter is come, whom I will send unto you from the Father, even the Spirit of truth, which proceedeth from the Father, he shall testify of me, and ye also shall bear witness. This is, sorry guys, I'll finish. Because ye have been with me from the beginning. That's just huge words that he says there. He's talking about now. And then. It's amazing. Welcome, Splurge. It's a flat line. I wonder why. So, yeah, that's all I've got for you guys. I love reading, and I could probably go on for a long time, especially if we were in Isaiah. But remember, I think it's important to remember that the world that we live in is the only reason why there's the sun is in the sky in your world, out your eyes, you know what I mean? The one you see out of your eyes and the one that you live in. That sun that is out there only because you are perceiving it out there. Like, I'm sure it would be out there if you weren't perceiving it, but I'm saying everything is relative to you. Everything. Like, people want to talk about if the earth's moving or if the stars are moving. Come on. What do you perceive? It's relative to you. You could say, in concept, if I was up in the stars, it may appear that the earth is turning. But that's not reality. That's like an intellectual way of being deceived. Because what is it actually? It's that the earth is always just, look at the floor right now. You trust it so much that it's not moving, that you know it's not going to move right now. It's just still. It's solid for a solid foundation. It's stationary. Never rotates. The sky moves. And this is not relative to anything but you. Because if you weren't perceiving it, it wouldn't be there for you. So you are the central point of all perception that is available. All your senses, like we were tipping our head, right? We were tipping our head, and something in your ear, I guess, like, I don't know the science, but people know about it. There's some fluid or something, some device that God made that's flesh that tells you exactly when your head is straight up and down. Just think about that. Not only that, you can see with your eyeballs these things that we're talking about. All of this is because you are the central point of this whole perception of this world. Yes, we all see it the same way or whatever. We all perceive the same world. But what I'm saying is, that's what life is important about too, is you are an individual. So it's very important to realize that everything is relative to you. That's probably the best way I can say it. Everything's relative to you. In your life, in your shoes, in the way you see things. That's what it's relative to. You experience, and you'll agree with me if you're honest, you experience a stationary earth unless there's an earthquake. With no exceptions, I think. Right? Anybody that's honest should probably say, yeah, I never experienced the earth moving unless there's an earthquake. That's what I would say. So, unless I'm not thinking of some case where the earth moves. But as far as, being real, the earth's stationary and we all experience it. And we all agree that it's stationary as far as what we experience relative to us, right? And the Bible is clear that the sun, moon, and stars are moving in the sky. So why would a person choose to pretend that they don't live in this central point of perception in their body, that they're experiencing this stationary earth? They choose that they're the ones moving, most likely because they were taught that. But when all reality points to the opposite, that no, sorry guys, the earth isn't moving. And I'll just point at the floor again and have you look down if you're laughing at what I'm saying. Please just remember that the floor under your feet is solid and not moving. And it'll be that way all night while you're sleeping. Unless there's an earthquake, okay? So, like that's just one thing. It goes right along with the flat surface of water. As soon as a person leaves that perception point, that central, it's like you're leaving your body, like to pretend in some other way of existing. Really, just think about it. That's what we've all been doing. We've all done it. So I've stopped doing that entirely, and I say, it's not that I don't believe things that I haven't experienced. It's that I don't believe lies when they're just blatantly right in front of me. So you say the ocean's curving in front of you 3 miles away, but it's not curving left to right in 10 times that distance. Roderick, what's up? DQs, what's up? Good to see you guys. You know, those are probably the best two common sense points or arguments or whatever you want to call them, debate points. I really think that it is the flatness and the level horizontal nature of water when it's at rest, combined with the stationary earth that we all truly experience. And just remember this, that anyone you're talking to, while you're talking to them, telling them what I'm doing right to you right now, basically, while you're talking to them, don't forget for 1 second to remind them that the floor is the ground. That's the earth. And they can go outside if they want, and it's not going to be moving. That's what we experience. So as we're experiencing that together, let's have a debate about it. What is that? Like, that doesn't make much sense, does it? If we were going to have a debate, we would say, well, actually, guys, there is no debate. There's no debate, because what I'm pointing out is that the earth is stationary, and you all agree with me, but everyone that's spinning on a globe still in your mind, you're like that, but that's not good enough. If I said, well, the ground that we live on, the foundation of your house, whatever you want to say, it's never moved. It's not ever been moving unless it's an earthquake, right? And everyone would say, yep, that's true. But what? But we're going around the sun. No, we're not. Want me to prove that too? The sun starts its journey every day on one side of your house, and it goes over your house, above it. And it moves, it goes forth through the sky, and it goes away. It sets on the other side of your house, the opposite side of your house. Did your house move, or did the sun move? You tell me. That's how you, like, if we're honest about these things, I know sometimes maybe honest isn't like cool. Oh yeah, I live on a stationary earth, while the whole rest of the world believes that they're not. Well, guess what? I'm more interested in the obvious truth that maybe people are too cool to actually think about. Water will flow uphill, been done for centuries. Cool. Inverted siphon. Oh, I think I've seen that. Here's another interesting thing. The flow of water, if you just picture it, it's flowing. And what happens if you stop it? Well, it'll build up and start going, like filling up whatever container it's in, right? Oh, it filled up that container, so it's going to overflow to where? It's going to go to the lowest point. That's what water does. So the whole spherical water thing, that's pretty sorry, it's out there. Yeah, I used to live there too, guys. But come out of her, my people. Please. The things NASA is doing may seem innocent, but if you know that God lives up there, you might rethink supporting what they're doing. Because NASA's being deceived. SpaceX is being deceived. This whole world is on a course to destruction, and it's scary. But I pray for everyone that maybe doesn't see so clearly some of these things, to ask someone, and you know who I'm talking about, not me. Ask the Son of God, because he's real. Ask him to show you. Ask him to understand why people are talking about it even. Why is it important? Ask him that. Because he might not tell you that it's important, but he might just show you what's important, like for you. I just know that this truth is not going away, and I believe that it's actually it's the nature of an eternal world coming down from heaven. It's not built with bricks. It's built of people, basically. It's not, you can see it in that world, but you can't see it on some globe. The globe's got problems if New Jerusalem came down. What's the ISS going to do? Crash into it? Come on. I don't think that New Jerusalem is physical in that way. But it is certainly real and is certainly trodden underfoot right now. That's what I say. Interesting, DQs, that the sun isn't a thing but a peephole of alternating aperture that shows heaven. That's interesting. I've actually thought about, like, if the stars were little pinholes into heaven. I've thought about that before. All right. I've been on here almost an hour and a half. Wow. So I'm just going to say this. Jesus is healing the blind in 2020. And he's making the deaf able to hear in 2020. But I think most of all, he's healing the blind. He's making people see that couldn't see. And if you feel like that's you, ask him to heal your blindness and show you the truth and show you what he needs to show you. And you could probably find it right in the Word of God, right in the Bible. Amen, Roderick. Roderick says, told one today, a few years ago, for many of us, a new heaven and earth appeared. Wow. So that's so right on. That happened. That happened in my world. You want to know? Oh, I wish I had that program working. I'd show you star trails right now. That's the sky. That's the heaven that I saw now. I never saw that. I never understood what happens up there. Enoch, chapter 71. If you guys want to read a cool story about the nature of the stars and those circles we see them flying in up there, read Enoch 71. There's a throne up there in the middle of all that. And for some reason our compasses point there. Something is going on in the north. So, above the north, right? Yeah, that's about it. So, thank you guys for hanging out, and we'll talk soon. We'll talk real soon. Have a good night.